30 years ago, a crayon got stuck in Homer's brain. This crayon turned Homer from a genius into a fool. That year, Homer was only 6 years old. He wanted to challenge the limits of the human nasal cavity. Homer stuffed 16 crayons into his nose. He suddenly felt dizzy.
I think that's all of them.
But only 15 crayons were pulled out. One remained stuck in Homer's brain. This caused Homer to become the foolish person he is today. So his genius daughter Lisa is not a genetic mutation. She actually inherited Homer's genius genes. Now, as long as the crayon is removed from Homer's brain, he can become smart again. To contrast with Homer's high intelligence later, the story begins with the Simpson family attending a comic convention. The foolish Homer becomes obsessed with motion capture technology. He controls a cartoon character with his funny movements. The audience is amused by him. Homer sees a money-making opportunity in this. He decides to spend all his money to buy shares of an animation company. Homer goes to the bank to withdraw money, but the joint account requires his wife's signature. Homer pretends that his wife is standing behind a potted plant.
Hello, Marge.
Hi, Homie.
Sign this, please.
You're the boss.
Daddy, ask the man for some candy.
The staff are stunned when they see this. They hand Homer a piece of candy.
Dog, sucker!
Sir, your life savings.
Excellent.
Homer arrives at the stock exchange with all his family's money. The staff remind him that stocks are risky. But Homer is completely immersed in his fantasy of getting rich. He invests all his money in stocks. After that, Homer constantly watches the stock market. He even holds onto the stocks while sleeping. Homer treats the stocks as his ticket to success. But reality is cruel. The stocks Homer bought crash. He becomes the largest shareholder and loses the most money.
Oh!
Homer calls a family meeting.
I lost our life savings in the stock market.
Because the foolish Homer has lost money many times before, his family is not surprised. But Homer is filled with guilt. His friend Barney suggests he join a drug trial to make money. However, the experiment has some side effects.
Those ears? Ow, not so loud!
Homer arrives at the drug testing center. A scientist sprays him with an appetite-suppressing perfume.
It burns! Ah!
When Homer sees food he likes, he has no reaction at all. The scientist thinks the drug is successful, but Homer is actually temporarily blind. Then he has to compete with a lab mouse in reaction speed. But Homer is slower than the mouse. The scientist begins to question Homer's intelligence. She accidentally discovers the crayon in Homer's brain. But Homer had many head x-rays before, and the crayon was never found. Because the previous doctors held the x-ray films like this.
My son must have covered up the crayon every time.
After that, the scientist performs surgery to remove the crayon. From then on, Homer becomes a genius. He can casually list everything done by famous historical figures.
It's true.
Homer goes to the library with Lisa to read. He quickly finishes several professional books. Lisa really likes this intelligent version of her father. Many people learn that Homer has become smart. He is even invited to give a speech at school. Homer believes everyone has a crayon in their nose. It is not a literal crayon, but prejudice. Everyone should have hope for themselves.
Don't be like me and use your minds. Paint a painting, sing a song, and dance a dance.
This speech is loved by all the children. Homer also stops slacking off at the nuclear power plant. He drafts a report on safety hazards and sends it to the Nuclear Regulatory Committee. His co-workers all agree with him. They are happy to have such a smart colleague like Homer. But this report angers the boss. Because the plant is reported to the government, the company has to spend a lot of money on corrections. To save money, the company decides to lay off many employees. Homer never expected his good intentions would cost everyone their jobs. The unemployed workers vent their anger at Homer in the bar. Homer loses all his friends because he is too smart. Due to his high intelligence, he can no longer feel joy when watching silly movies. Homer realizes that being too smart creates distance in relationships. Lisa, who is equally intelligent, completely understands him, but Lisa is already used to it. Because intelligence and happiness are inversely proportional, Homer feels deep loneliness inside. He begins to miss his foolish self. Homer goes to the research institute. He hopes the scientists can turn him back to the way he was, but they are unwilling to take the risk, so they recommend a shady clinic. Unexpectedly, the doctor there is Homer's friend Moe. After the surgery is prepared, Homer hands over his crayon.
No problem. The old Crayola Oblongata.
At this moment, Lisa is drawing at home. However, her blue crayon is missing. Lisa has a bad feeling. At that moment, Homer crashes through the window. He has returned to his previous foolish self. Lisa feels very sad. Fortunately, the intelligent Homer had anticipated this moment. Before the surgery, he wrote a letter to Lisa.
Lisa, I'm taking the coward's way out. But before I do, I just want you to know, being smart made me appreciate how amazing you really are. Oh, Dad.
Lisa happily hugs her father, Homer.